The Bay Area's BIN 910.
I'm Bree Wood.
And I'm Trey Thomas on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Former Detroit Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick has endorsed Donald Trump for president. This endorsement came ahead of Trump's recent campaign appearance at a Detroit church on Saturday. According to Just the News, Kilpatrick, whose federal prison sentence was commuted by Trump in 2021, expressed his gratitude, stating in part, quote, "I can never thank President Trump enough for what he's done for me and my family by giving me my freedom," end quote. This move is seen as a strategic part of Trump's efforts to court black voters in Michigan.
New York City Mayor Eric Adams is reacting to the sentencing of Brooklyn's so-called bling bishop Lamar Whitehead, who has claimed he was once a mentee of the mayor.
I know there was a story in the Daily News about he and I exchanging texts and comments that I made.
Those texts were seized by prosecutors and used in the case against Whitehead, a pastor from Leaders of Tomorrow International Ministries in Canarsie. He was found guilty of wire fraud and attempted extortion, among other charges. The case did not allege any wrongdoing on behalf of the mayor. And Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson has announced the creation of a reparations task force during the Juneteenth celebration. The task force is set to develop a plan to address historical injustices against black residents in the city.
On behalf of the city of Chicago, I apologize for the historic wrongs committed against black people in Chicago.
The mayor, who is black, highlighted systemic racism and its ongoing impact on black Chicagoans during his speech. Critics argue about the allocation of funds for the task force, but the mayor insists that reparations will be an investment in the neighborhoods and people.
In celebration of Juneteenth, the Martin Luther King Jr. Library in Alexandria, Louisiana, had launched an innovative story stroll. News Channel 5 reports this unique event is designed to explore and honor African-American culture, offering participants a journey through history and heritage. The library branch manager, Lakeisha Hinton, says Juneteenth is more than just a day off of work. It's about continuing to make strides toward being better. I'm Bree Wood, along with Trey Thomas, on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network. Your Washington Roundup is next.
The Biden administration has taken executive action to grant temporary amnesty for hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants.
Joe, come here.
Yes.
Come here for a second, please. Joe, this is my...
fuck? They can't even fucking decide on this. Damn. Sheesh, dude, I waste all my time getting up to Napa. Only to fucking asshole. This fucking client, he doesn't know what the fuck he wants. Wasting my fucking time getting up
and
here.
again, done in bad faith.
Some commentators say the video taken at a fundraiser in California over the weekend shows Biden freezing up before former President Obama grabs his wrist and leads him off stage.
Usually
Jean-Pierre says
second.
the video shows a tight bond between the two men. An NBC News poll shows an overwhelming majority of Americans think Biden is too old to serve a second term.
The U.S. House of Representatives has passed a measure that automatically registers men between the ages of 18 to 26 for selective service. It was part of the annual National Defense Authorization Act, which establishes the government's military and national security priorities. The 2025 NDAA authorizes nearly $900 billion in military spending, which is almost $9 billion more than last fiscal year.
A Secret Service agent was robbed at gunpoint on Saturday during President Biden's Los Angeles fundraiser. Scripps News says the agent was returning to Tustin from an assignment when he was robbed. The agent was not hurt and was able to fire his weapon at the suspect, who got away. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has reportedly dissolved the influential war cabinet that facilitated the war in Gaza. The three-person coalition was disbanded days after Benny Gantz, a prominent opposition lawmaker and former military chief, stepped down in frustration over how the war was being handled. Gantz had originally demanded that a small cabinet would be formed to sideline far-right lawmakers. Israeli officials say going forward, Netanyahu will conduct smaller forums with some government members for critical issues.
Rwandans will choose among 3 presidential candidates and over 500 parliament hopefuls during the July 15th election. The National Electoral Commission has unveiled the candidates' names. 23-year incumbent President Paul Kagame will face Frank Habineza of the opposition Democratic Green Party and independent Philippe Mpayamena. Kagame won overwhelmingly in 2003, 2010, and 2017 with more than 90% of the vote.
Celebrating Black Music Month, the Black Information Network is recognizing the many contributions of Black artists to the culture and history of American music. Celebrating Black Music Month on the Black Information Network with singer Eddie Holman and the classic gold hit, Hey There, Lonely Girl. Holman was born in Norfolk in 1946. He is best known for his spectacular falsetto in that 1970 favorite. Holman making his first record, What You Don't Know Won't Hurt You, in 1962, and began honing his style on the Philadelphia Soul Circuit. He recorded his first hit record, This Can't Be True, in 1966, which reached number 17 on the Billboard chart. Hey There, Lonely Girl peaked at number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart and number 4 in the UK singles chart in 1974. I'm Terry McCready along with Kevin Brown on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Time now for traffic and weather.
On the Bay Area's BIN 910.
Heading over to Fremont, there is a 2-car wreck that's been moved to your right shoulder, 880 southbound at Mission Boulevard. You're jammed just 1 minute from Fremont Boulevard South. Now on the northbound side, it's your 880 northbound on-ramp from eastbound Thornton Avenue. That is blocked by an overturned semi that was carrying some salt water. In Sonoma, a crash involving a pickup truck hauling a trailer is blocking your roadway, taking out your center lane, Arnold Drive eastbound at Orange Avenue. A 2-minute slowdown from Sparing Road. Traffic is backed up in both directions. And in the Altamont Pass, you're stop and go, but just 4 minutes now. 580 westbound between 205 and North Flint Road. Sluggish on westbound 205 from Mountain House Parkway to 580. Checking the area weather, the sun shines brightly today. Our highs inland 88, 74 in Oakland, 76 Bayside, 68 in San Francisco. With the Bay Area traffic and weather, Jasmine Summers on the Black Information Network.
This is America's Black Voice,
The Black Information Network.
the Bay Area's BIN 910.
I'm Natasha Williams on your home for 24/7 News on San Francisco's BIN 910. In Oakland, neighbors are trying to help neighbors following business break-ins and other crime. NBC Bay Area reporting residents are rallying not only to show their support, but to hopefully keep businesses from packing up and leaving after becoming targets. A busted front door, broken glass, and $4,000 in damages and stolen tools left the owner of Nowheresville Tattoo in Oakland feeling dejected and ready to close the doors.
The fear is that you're done. You know, I think I had $200 in my bank account at that point, so yes, it got a little teary-eyed.
Paul Urich says his shop is a community hangout, but after a break-in last week, he thought he might have to hang up his needles and walk away from the business he loved.
I was walking my dog and cleaning up the glass. We're talking about it. Within minutes, I knew what I was going to do.
Ulrich's fear quickly turned to motivation after a GoFundMe was unknowingly set up to cover the cost of the theft and repairs. It quickly raised thousands more than the intended goal.
I felt the love, you know. When you're having tough times, you question what you're doing sometimes. And when everyone around you pitches in, you know you're doing the right thing.
Torrance Scott, who is black, owner of a local production company, was the person behind the crowdfunding campaign that raised the goal in 48 hours and then saw donations climb over 3,000. Regardless of what the story is right now in Oakland, there are still communities out there. There are still people that outweigh whatever you're hearing, Scott said. And they're not alone. Last month, dozens of people came out to dine and donated more than $17,000 to help a local restaurant keep their doors open too. Neighbors helping neighbors when times get tough. In other news, the search is on for a mob caught on camera attacking a San Jose police car. Video on social media shows them in ski masks stopping a reserve officer on the way to help an injured person. They jump and stomp on the hood, smash the windshield, and pound the windows. This all went on Saturday night after a sideshow, one of the many reported ones just before 7 p.m. The police chief called it deplorable and says this conduct won't be tolerated in the city. And more San Francisco businesses are getting help to stay open. The city is expanding its Vacant to Vibrant program beyond the Bayview neighborhood. It started last September and received over 1,000 applications, giving 3 months of free rent to 17 pop-ups. The second phase kicks in this week with 11 businesses and 8 different properties. The goal is to help downtown recover amid all the vacancies so shops extend their stay. And it's no surprise California is an expensive place to live, but how do our cities stack up with others worldwide? Turns out not so well at all. 4 spots here make the top 10 list of having the least affordable housing markets last year. A new international report puts San Jose first, followed by Los Angeles, San Francisco, and San Diego. And that's a look at what's going on in the Bay Area. I'm Natasha Williams on your home for 24/7 News on San Francisco's BIN 910.
Looking for ways to help propel human potential? For over 50 years, SEO has been an innovator in youth education, mentorship, and positive peer pressure. Tap into and support the potential of newfound greatness at SEO-USA.org.
The biggest black news every 30 minutes.
The Black Information Network, the Bay Area's BIN 910.
I'm Mimi Brown on the Black Information Network, and today I'm in conversation with Dr. Byron Scott, Direct Relief COO and co-chair of the Fund for Health Equity.
The Fund for Health Equity is a program dedicated to addressing health disparities and advancing health equity worldwide. A lot of the socioeconomic and structural factors, including poverty, discrimination, lack of access to health care, and systemic racism. Direct Relief realizes that addressing health equity requires addressing these underlying determinants of health and working towards systemic change.
To learn more, visit directrelief.org.
Want to support your community? SARMS is a legal nonprofit committed to assisting and providing legal services to black farmers and landowners. Learn how you can help by logging on to 30,000acres.org.
The Equal Justice Initiative is committed to ending mass incarceration and excessive punishment by providing legal representation to people who have been illegally convicted, unfairly sentenced, or abused in state jails and prisons. Support the cause at EJI.org.
Patented by an African-American nurse more than 50 years ago.
Information Network. In 1966, Huey Newton and Bobby Seale created the Black Panther Party to fight police oppression of blacks in Oakland, California.
We have to understand that we're talking about our survival and nothing else.
2 years later, the party started the People's Free Medical Clinic to address systemic discrimination against blacks in hospitals and private medical practices. Because while discrimination was illegal, there was no enforcement. By 1970, all black chapters across the country were required to establish clinics. Trusted volunteer professionals staff the free clinic and also train community members as lab technicians, patient advocates, and community healthcare workers. The clinics primarily provided first aid and basic services such as childhood vaccinations and screenings with a later focus on sickle cell anemia, leading the U.S. Congress to pass the National Sickle Cell Anemia Control Act of 1972. By 1975, most of the clinics were shuttered due to years of intense scrutiny from government agencies. And that's a fact. I'm Big Sue on the Black Information Network.
The opinions, beliefs, and viewpoints expressed in this commentary are those of the author and do not necessarily represent those of BIN and its founding partners and employees.
I'm James C. Harris, and I have something to say. During the years that Barack Obama occupied the White House, Democrats came up with a new strategy to block his failure. Any criticism on policy was racist, simply because the president is black. The same tactics are being used today, only now it's to cover the abject failure of big Democrat-run cities, especially those that are run by blacks. Statistics don't lie when it comes to homelessness, when it comes to crime. America's big cities have a problem, but instead of addressing the issues, Democrats want to attack the messenger, even if the messenger hasn't said anything. Case in point, Donald Trump and the city of Milwaukee. Milwaukee is my hometown, but I would be remiss if I didn't tell you that Milwaukee has problems, crime problems. And yet Milwaukee will be the home of the 2024 GOP convention. Maybe that's why the left is using it to perpetuate another hoax.
We have basically seen Donald Trump use this playbook before. We know that he's going to disparage certain cities and that most of those cities are going to be Democrat-led. But it's another element here because most of those cities also have non-white mayors. I'm sure this is not a coincidence, but you can certainly prove me wrong if you think otherwise.
You took the words right out of my mouth. It's not just that they're Democrat run, it's that they're black run as well. The same ire that we've seen Donald Trump have for Milwaukee, he has for my home city, the one that I'm in right now, Chicago.
Amisha Cross goes on to accuse President Trump of not appreciating people of color and not appreciating young people. She does not address the crime problem that has engulfed Chicago and Milwaukee. And again, President Trump hasn't either. Yet, this is the only card that the left has to play, the race card. And polls are showing that that card has lost its power. I'm James C. Harris for the Black Information Network.
Headlines every 30 minutes. Breaking news at once.
The Black Information Network.
The Bay Area's BIN 910.
Here's what's trending at this hour. The Boston Celtics win their 18th NBA title. McDonald's poses AI order against drive-thrus. A TikTok betting challenge will be heard on September 16th. And that's what's trending.
Sports on the Black Information Network. The fight between boxing legend Mike Tyson and YouTube sensation Jake Paul is back on. The event has been rescheduled for November 15th at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. It was postponed after Tyson suffered a medical emergency during a flight between Miami and Los Angeles.
Boxing great Bernard Hopkins.
Netflix will stream the fight live. The trade deadline is just over a month away for many MLB teams. More than 100 players were moved last year, and more activity is expected this season. Here is the top 10 MLB power rankings. The Minnesota Twins are at number 10, followed by the Seattle Mariners, Atlanta Braves, Milwaukee Brewers, Kansas City Royals, and Cleveland Guardians. The Los Angeles Dodgers hold down the number 4 position, followed by the Baltimore Orioles at number 3. The Philadelphia Phillies and their home field advantage hold down the number 2 position. And the number 1 team in the MLB power rankings is the Bronx Bombers, New York Yankees. hit your sports at 14 and 44 past each and every hour. I'm Ray Harris on the Black Information Network.
Special thank you to Merck, a proud national partner who shares and supports the mission of the Black Information Network.
I'm Bill Black with another Bet You Didn't Know music fact. Here's an oldie but goodie by Luther Vandross. It's a song that everybody loves, but I bet you didn't know this song was the inspiration for the movie House Party. Writer and director Reginald Hudlin explains.
I was packing to go back to college, and the radio was on, and the Luther Vandross song Bad Boy Having a Party was on. So I'm packing and like, wow, that could be a movie.
Reginald went on to write the movie House Party for New Line Cinema, but I bet you didn't know who he originally had in mind to star in the movie.
So we developed the movie, and they actually had Will Smith under contract.
Will Smith's management declined the movie offer for House Party. He said he wanted to do a TV show or something. Wonder whatever happened to that guy. I'm Bill Black, and that's another Bet You Didn't Know music fact on the Black Information Network.
Entertainment news on the Black Information Network. In a Black Information Network exclusive, Tariq Wynn spoke to Real Housewives of Atlanta cast member Ruth Sedora about what she's been up to since the show last wrapped. Oh, I was living my best life. I was like, look, this is my time off, okay? Just to really pursue all these things. I mean, I was able to film this amazing TV show, do some amazing movies that are coming out, be in the studio working on my album that's dropping this summer that I'm so excited about, right?
Congrats.
Music, honey, thank you. I'm very proud of it. So I was able to spend time with my kids and do all of those things before the drama starts, right? So I took my moment. I took my break. I mean, we had a really tough last season. So I just took my moment to deal with just personal life issues, and while they got it together and figured it out.
Yeah, okay, good. That's awesome. So with, because I know you mentioned you were able to take some time off, do some shows and stuff. How are you able to, have you ever had the difficulty of trying to do the show and then also trying to do other projects within the same time?
Sometimes it does get sticky, yeah. Sometimes the schedule just doesn't work out, and that makes it hard. That's why I try to take full advantage when on off season. Drew Sedora's latest project, Mind Your Business, airs Sundays on Bounce TV. Check out the full interview at BINnews.com with the latest in entertainment. I'm Morgan Wood on the Black Information Network.
Time now for traffic and weather.
On the Bay Area's BIN 910.
A two-car wreck at Fremont has been moved to your right shoulder, 880 southbound at Mission Boulevard, leaving you stop and go from Fremont Boulevard south and your 880 northbound on-ramp from eastbound Thornton Avenue. That is also blocked by an overturned semi-truck carrying saltwater. CHP on the scene, but that still has not been cleared out of your way yet. You are jammed on the Bay Bridge, 80 westbound, between the end of the parking lot and the metering lights. Sluggish across the span to Fremont Street and westbound 80, slow and go from Cutting Boulevard to the Maze. Staff the bridge to San Leandro, about 9 minutes. Your shoulder blocked by smoke, so it looks like a car fire. 880 northbound before Davis Street. That has you